So I'm going to show you how I make my creepy dolls from start to finish. And I got this doll at a church thrift shop for $2, and what I like about it is it's got jointed limbs, it's a little bit weighted, so it makes it easier to sit in a chair or on a shelf or anywhere really. So the first thing you want to do is get a pair of wire cutters, and we're going to disassemble the doll so we can paint the limbs and the head. So these have plastic wire ties, we're just going to cut these off. So you can take your pliers or your wire cutters, grab this square piece of the wire tie, and usually if you twist it, it'll break it. Then you can just pull it right out. And just keep doing that until you get all the limbs off. So I'm going to start with the limbs. I'm going to do the head separately. I have some Apple Barrel black acrylic paint, and then I have some Crackle Effect Montana spray paint. So I have this board that I just put some screws in so it can hold the limbs while I'm painting them, while they're drying. So I'm just going to paint these very quickly because you want to spray them with the Crackle paint while the black is still wet. So I'm going to get them painted up. When they're all painted, I will apply the Crackle paint. And the thicker you put the paint on, the bigger the cracks will be. So if there's a certain spot on it, like usually on the head, sometimes I'll put it thicker in the place where I want there to be bigger cracks, and thinner where I want there to be smaller cracks. So I just kind of slop it on. You don't have to be neat about it. I mean, it's going to be a different Crackle effect every time. Every limb's going to be different, and you never really know what you're going to get. That's the fun of it. So just don't let it dry too much. You know, as soon as I get these painted, I'll spray it right away, and then the Crackle will take effect immediately, and it's really kind of neat to watch it. To watch what it becomes. Okay, so there's that. And one more. It's okay if you don't get everything like between the fingers and all that, because when you put the white paint on, the Crackle paint's gonna just spill everything in anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect, which is a good thing because that way you can do it a little faster. Okay, so now what we will do is we will take our Crackle paint, shake it good, and we're just going to start spraying these. Just spray till it's a nice white coat on there. You can turn this around so you can get all the angles. And if you want, you could even leave a couple black spots if you want to. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is just starting to crackle. You see the cracks in it already, and the more it dries, the more it's going to crackle. So we'll let that dry. My limbs have been drying for 24 hours. And then what I do is, there was a couple of large cracks on these, like big gashes, which probably happened by accident when a couple of these knocked up against each other before the paint was dry. But sometimes I scrape it and do that so I can put some red paint on it and it looks like gashes or wounds. I have vampire red paint, but you can mix purple and brown and red till you get the desired blood shade that you want. I'm also doing the nails in red. Sometimes I do black, sometimes I don't do them at all. You can do whatever color you want. But I'm doing red because the doll's going to be wearing a red dress and have red hair. So we're going to let this dry, and then we will move on to the head. Okay, so the head has been drying for 24 hours, and I had put glue over the eyes to preserve the eyes because I wanted to use the original eyes. So what I'm going to do is just grab some pliers, and you can pull the paint right off so the eye is okay. If there's a little paint on the eye, you can scrape it off. And I'm also going to be painting around the eyes black, so that will be filled in. So there I still have my pretty blue eyes, and what I'm going to do is just scrape what little bit of paint got on them, and then I'm going to paint black around the eyes. Then I'm going to shade around the eyes with red. I'm going to do the nostrils, I'm going to do the mouth, and add some teeth. So I'm working on the head, and I painted around the eyes. I glazed the eyes with clear nail polish remover, quite a lot of it. Put some black in the nostrils, a little bit of red for blood. And then I have mixed some clear silicone with some red and purple paint, and what I'm doing with this is just putting this into the mouth, kind of filling that in with this silicone mixture because I'm going to add some teeth. I'm just going to put some around the edge of the mouth too. Doesn't have to be neat. So usually I use white fork tines for the teeth, but I didn't have any today, so I have cut this jug, and I have these little teeth right here, and I'm going to try to place these in to the silicone mixture. It's a little tricky. Put them in there, and when this all dries, they'll be set in there. Oops, pretty good. Just set them in however you want it. Put some up top, some on the bottom. This is a little tedious, so I am gonna turn the camera off while I do this, but when I get done, I'll show you what I got. So here's the way my teeth came out. Not perfect, but the messier they are, the creepier it is, I think. Also, I did some dry brushing with a makeup powder puff. I put a little paint on it, wiped most of it off, and then just did some shading. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I like to. So I'm gonna let this dry for 24 hours, and after that, we're gonna get the limbs and the head and give it a clear seal coat. And then the next step after that is we will put the doll back together. And the last thing I will do is add the hair. So everything's dry and ready to be sealed. And I use this Mod Podge matte clear acrylic sealer. You can use a gloss, but then your doll's gonna be shiny. Excuse my furnace, I'm in the basement. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray everything with this clear coat. Give it a good seal. I don't worry about the back of the head because there's gonna be hair back there, so just spray everything up. Give it a nice liberal coat. So we're gonna let that dry, and then the fun. We will put the doll back together and add the hair. Okay, so I'm putting the doll back together, and you're gonna need 5 of these plastic zip ties, and you can get these online. They're called Reborn zip ties. You might find them at the Home Depot, but they have to be really thin in order to fit. So I've got the hands on, and I'm gonna put the feet on. Usually just start it a little bit, it's easier. Put the foot in, make sure it's in there good, and it has a groove right at the top, and that's where the zip tie's gonna go. So pull it, and pull it as tight as you can. And then I would clip it with these wire cutters. And I take these nail clippers to get it flush so there's no pointy pieces. And it's easier if you thread it through first and tighten it a little bit. Put the foot in, push it in there good so everything's lined up in that groove. And just pull it tight. Cut it and clip it. Now the head, I'm going to put the outfit on before the head because what I did was, okay, I have a pair of leggings and then I have another pair of leggings. I have these leggings that have a tutu built in, but I am making a dress out of this. So what I did was I folded this over and I cut a small hole in the crotch. I'm going to turn this upside down. This is going to become a cute little dress, but I don't think this will fit over the head, so I'm going to put this on first and then put the head on after. So we'll do this. I make these dolls as cheaply as I can, so a lot of times I do make little dresses out of the leggings, or I just try to be creative. You really have to get creative with this stuff so you don't spend a lot. Okay, come on. Alright, so we got that on there. Now I gotta thread one of these through here. Alright, then I will start it through here, but not too tight, a little tighter. Okay, pop the head in. Make sure it's the way you want it, not turned to the side or anything. Okay, alright, I'm going to trim that up. I'm going to get the rest of the outfit on. And I will be right back. So here she is in her little outfit. And I'm going to show you how I put the hair on. I buy this hair on Amazon. It comes in like a 10 or 12 pack of these wefts. If you just Google doll hair wefts, you'll see it. All different colors and kinds. It's really inexpensive. I think I can get like 10 or 12 for less than 20 bucks. And one of these wefts has this much hair. This will do the whole doll's head. So it's pretty inexpensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hair and I am going to start at the top of the ear. Just put some glue down with my glue gun. Press this down. Then I'm going to go all the way around with glue to the other side of the head. And when I get over to the other side, I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to cut it right here like this. Now when you do this, when you put another piece of hair, you just come a little bit above this one. I don't put it right flush to it because it'll take so much hair. I just come up a little bit because once all this hair is layered on here, you're not going to see these gaps. So then I would just start right above the other piece a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so. And just keep coming around the head. And basically, you just keep doing that till you get to the top of the head. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to take a few minutes. And then when I get to the top of the head, I'm going to come back and show you what I do next. Okay, so here's what the back of her head looks like. It's nice and full, as you can see. Might be some glue in it, but you can pick that out. So here's what she looks like from the front. And for the last piece of hair, I'm going to take this piece, and rather than have it go back, I'm going to bring it to the front like this. I'm just going to meet up with the other piece here. Glue that down. There's going to be like just a little gap right in the top of her head like this. Just a little space. So just glue that. So there's like a little slit right on the top of her head. Bring it down to meet the other piece. Okay, so that's the way it looks. And then I'm just going to move her hair over to one side. Leave a little bit over here, and we'll bring this over here. And then I have this bow, and I'm going to glue this bow right on the top of her hair where that slit is. So we're just going to put some glue up here, right on the top. Just going to glue this little bow right here, just like that. And that will cover up that gap, and you won't be able to see it from the front or the back. Sometimes I will glue this bow down a little bit right also on the side if some of that gap is showing right there too. So that's what she looks like, and you can, you can do whatever you want with the hair. If you want to put some more to the other side or whatever, but you could give her bangs too if you wanted to. I usually frig with it a little bit until I like it. But this is her. This is the finished baby. And I usually give them props too. Like sometimes I give them lollipops that I make out of clay, and I would drill a hole by hand with a drill bit and put the lollipop stick in her hand so she can hold it. Or I give them a little teddy bear or something creepy or whatever you want to. But anyway, that's her. Thanks for watching.